Mike Johnson has been getting roasted by Marjorie Taylor Greene. Obviously, we've been covering this interesting arc of hers where she went from the most loyal, in many cases, deranged supporters of Trump to being really critical of him amid the government shutdown and of the Republican Party at large, saying hey, yeah, the shutdown's bad. And I'm opposed to Democrats XYZ reasons, but Democrats are actually suggesting solutions on healthcare. We're not. There actually is a problem here. We're not even doing anything. We're not even working. You're sitting outside on vacation. And I'll show you some of those moments from an interview she did with Tucker Carlson. But first, Mike Johnson had to sit and have Caitlin Collins read for him posts from Marjorie Taylor Greene, and it's starting to heat up. While we continue through this, please do, if you appreciate the show, right below the video, as you know, subscribe button, check to make sure you are subscribed. It's free, but it just helps tell YouTube that you like the channel.
We heard from one of your members today, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who wrote this morning that on y'all's GOP conference call, she said Speaker Johnson said he has ideas and pages of policy, but did not say a single policy plan. She said, I find it unacceptable that Republicans are sitting on the sidelines doing nothing to fix this healthcare disaster that is leading many Americans into financial ruin. That's her words. She says you're sitting on the sidelines. What's your response to Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Well, bless her heart, that's an absurd statement. Obviously, these conference calls are monitored by media, so we're not going to have actual strategy discussions on a line where you have hundreds of people listening in, because it would be reported on the front page. We have been working on this for a long time. We worked on it today. We've been working on it every day. Marjorie is not here in Washington. She's not on the committees of jurisdiction, and she's not involved in those specific discussions, but she will be soon, because they'll be related to all the House Republicans. This was always going to be a discussion and a debate that was going to be held in bipartisan fashion, by the way, in the month of October and November. We know that the end of the year is the end of those COVID-era subsidies, and there's real reforms that have to be made if they're going to be extended. The Democrats knew that, the Republicans knew that, and it was always on the table for discussion. They have made that a red herring issue for now, again, because they wanted to...
All right, I'll give you Caitlin Collins' follow-up in a second here. Just so far, what he said... Really? Dang it. We can't give them the healthcare subsidy extension because we can talk about that later. You've had the whole year to talk about it. We know you're not going to, unless they use this leverage, you're not going to do anything about it. Because a big part of what they're trying to reverse is what you just did to Medicaid. Why would this really disingenuous, a little bit gaslighty reaction from a lot of Republicans? What? Just fund the government, extend the funding, and we would love to work on those healthcare issues. We really would. Really? But it's kind of like someone going, hey, I know the house is on fire, but just reopen the government and then I'll help you put the fire out. And then you're like, wait, but you set the house on fire. Why would you help me put it out if you purposely set it on fire? A big demand from Democrats is that you reverse what you just did in Trump's big, beautiful bill. So no, I don't think that you were planning on putting in the bill and then reversing it a few months later, unless they force you to. So that's disingenuous. And then he'll repeat this again in the next part of the clip. And again, keep waiting, because I do want to show you Marjorie's interview that was pretty interesting. But he keeps repeating, well, no. The reason that on these calls we don't talk about healthcare solutions is because there's reporters that can get access to them. And so then it would leak to the media our proposals. Okay. What's classified about a healthcare plan? Well, no, because if we said like we would support extending the subsidies, then people would know that we supported that. So that would kind of be bad. Why? Just make it public and put your plan out there. Or do you still only have...
I have concepts of a plan.
Show a fight against Trump. This is purely about Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries in New York trying to avoid a challenge from a Marxist candidate in their next re-election cycles. 100%. That's why they're doing a 180-degree turn and doing exactly the opposite of what they did as recently as March of this year.
Speaker, she's saying that the Republicans aren't doing anything to address the health care issue here that Democrats are arguing about. Are you saying that there is a Republican plan and you're just not talking about it?
No, I'm saying there's lots of discussion about it, but we don't relay it on a conference call with hundreds of people listening in.
Right.
We have many.
God forbid the American people are able to learn that you have a plan.
Ideas on how to bring down the cost of health care, to continue to do that, and we've already demonstrated it in the Working Families Tax Cut. We had real reform.
That's so sick. The Working Families Tax Cut. When you know what that bill was about. And then also, we already did it. No, you set the house on fire. Okay, so that's upsetting. But even Marjorie Taylor Greene's not buying it. Pretty surprising. Wow. She's been getting some sun.
Kiss my ass.
She's been getting some sun. a little time out in the sun. Okay, good.
Government shut down, but I really have no respect for the House not being in session, and I have no respect for Speaker Johnson not calling us back to Washington, because we should be passing bills. We should be passing bills that reflect the president's executive orders, which are exactly what we voted for. We should be at work on our committees. We should be doing investigations. And you want to know something? We should be passing the discharge petition that Thomas Massie put in to release the Epstein files. Those are the things that we should be doing.
Hey, she says she has no respect for Johnson. Now, the things she wants Congress to do, if she wanted to do something on healthcare, that could be good if it's good. And she seems to be supporting the extension of the ACA subsidies. So that's good. But I'm sure a lot of the other stuff would be terrible that she wants in some of Trump's executive orders. Just really distracted. It's just, be careful. You can get damaged. But anyways, so just caring. And then Tucker's so distracting too. His face, it's just, can we just do audio on this? But she does bring up the Epstein files too, which is notable. Okay, then we go on to another clip. Let's see here.
Food prices are high, rent is high, home prices are ridiculously high, cars are high, auto insurance, home insurance, health insurance is insane. Energy prices are high. I can tell you that in my own electric bills. They're much more expensive than they were even a year ago.
And a big part of that is Trump's attack on renewable energy. So I would like to hear Marjorie Taylor Greene admit that maybe your obsession for years with the culture war of we can't have solar, we can't have wind, you can never say nuclear. That's actually not one they say, but that we can't have these things because the woke environmentalist cult will, and that informed actions by the Trump administration now that are actually worsening your electricity bills. So I'm trying to give her props in a sense for speaking out against some of the dishonesty in her own party in this case. But at the same time, she's the biggest enabler of why we're here in the history of people. So it's tough. One thing I noticed too is, we've covered so many interviews and there's just a level of deep and profound viciousness from her, right? And just anger that will come through in interviews. She's talking, the Democratic Party is the party of pedophiles. That's not really her accent, but and it's stressful. And what's so weird is now she's on this arc, and it might just be because I like to see her criticizing Mike Johnson and Trump, but somehow she seems more at peace. Do you notice that in this interview? Like, she doesn't seem so angry and seems more at peace. And it's like, whoa, interesting. MAGA can make you loco. Now, she is still very much MAGA, so let's not get our hopes up on that. Then you have this.
How does Laura Loomer get to be a Pentagon advisor, but you get primaried? Like, what is that?
I don't know. I've never understood why anyone takes her serious. I mean, this is a woman that can't even legally buy a gun because she had such serious mental problems. She literally posted the other day that she blew blood vessels in her eye as she was hysterically tweeting, like 40 or 50 times in one day. Who listens to a person like that? Like, right. No one should.
A blood vessel popped from tweeting? That's some hardcore tweeting. Maybe it was during this post. She said, President Trump doesn't talk to MTG anymore. White House staff have grown sick of her and her efforts to undermine the administration. That's the truth. As an adulteress, Marjorie Taylor Greene is used to walking out on the men who she used throughout her life. Her ex-husband can confirm. That's why she's having a hard time being politically dumped by Trump. He dropped her worthless ass when he finally realized how dumb that CrossFit bimbo truly is. He told her he won't endorse her for Senate because she can't win. I just hope she's as miserable as she looks, truly. No one fights like MAGA fights with each other. That's intense. CrossFit bimbo. Oh my gosh. Goodness gracious. There is one little post I want to show you. You know how now Republicans are saying because Democrats won't agree to a continuing resolution funding the government more at its current levels, because they're leveraging that to get these concessions on healthcare, that it's their fault the government's shutting down. And you can always find a tweet, of course. We showed you the videos of Trump saying, whoever's the president, it's their fault because they have the obligation to negotiate with the relevant people to get enough votes to pass funding. I mean, that's how the process works. You don't just get the votes. You got to win them over. And that's how we have checks and balances. Even when a party's in the minority, they have some power that you have to negotiate with. And so those clips contradicted it. Then you have this back from 2021. The House Republicans account on X said, last time we checked, the Democrats controlled the House, Senate, and White House. If there's a government shutdown, it's because of Democrats. In response to Senate Republicans blocking a bill to avert a government shutdown in an effort to negotiate and undercut Biden. So they were doing the same thing, but for less justified reasons, in my estimation. And they were saying, hey, you have a majority in the House and Senate. Yeah, you need 60 votes in the Senate, but still, you have the majorities and you have the White House, so it's your fault. So that's why I'm so sick of this whole thing where they pretend like they're outraged. You should be outraged that people are suffering and that benefits and services are being impeded and that workers aren't being paid. That is outrageous. And I know for certain when Mike Johnson goes, how could they not, without negotiation, just agree to the bill that we want to pass? It's unconscionable that he knows exactly that they play the exact same game. But when they're fighting for it, it's to like ban trans or something. Whereas here you actually have some really good demands that I think should happen.